Hey guys, Miss Wheeler here. I'm at home, obviously. I'm sitting in my living room. I am quarantined right now. I cannot come to school, but I'm not sick. I feel good. It's just the rules, and I have to follow the rules. And Miss Elisa is the best sub ever, so that's pretty awesome that she gets to be your sub today. And she is going to be going over with you guys some note values, and you're going to start kind of learning that this week, and then hopefully I'll be back on Monday and we can do some instruments with them, and you'll already have a really good idea of what those note values and the names of the notes are. So I'm going to kind of go over that with you, and then she has some activities that I sent her where you can just really help squish those into your brain, and then hopefully I'll be back and we'll be able to play these notes on instruments. So today we're starting out the year, we're learning about rhythm, we're learning about the notes and how many beats the notes get, how many beats each note gets, and how many beats the rest gets too. So today we're going to talk about the notes, and we're going to start out with this note. Hopefully you guys know the name of that note. It looks like a circle, and it is a whole note, right? And I'm going to write whole note here. Well, it's kind of hard to write on the fireplace. A whole note gets 4 beats. So when I am playing a whole note or singing a whole note, you hold it out for 4 beats like this. Ta. Or on my clarinet, I don't think I can clap, but I'll try to stomp my foot and hopefully you can hear it. It would sound like this. It's a long note. It's pretty much the longest note that we learn. Sometimes, if you remember, they tied whole notes together and made it really, really long. But you need to know that a whole note gets 4 beats of sound, a very long sound. So that's our longest one. I'm also going to show you today how these notes are really fractions, how rhythm is math. So when I take a whole of something and I divide it in half, now I have a half of something. And when I take a whole note and I divide it in half, it makes 2 half notes. Now 2 of these half notes equal 4 beats. So this one must be 2 beats and this one must be 2 beats. And 2 plus 2 equals 4. So it's kind of like if I take half a sheet of paper and I tear it in half, half plus the other half would equal the whole sheet of paper. So now I'm going to sing for you a half note. Ta. Notice it's not as long as the whole note. It's only 2 beats of sound. Okay, so I'm going to play for you a half note. 1, 2. Now, if I take the half notes and I divide them in half, I'm going to get a note that looks like a half note, but it has a colored in circle. Okay, and one of these notes, one of these is 1/4 of the whole. If something is 1/4 of the whole, we also call that a quarter of something. For example, if I take $1 and I divide it into 4 parts, each part would get 25 cents. And we call that a quarter. A quarter is worth 25 cents. So one of these is called a quarter note because it is 1/4 of the whole note. So if this gets 2 beats and I divide it into 2, then this one is 1 and this one is 1. And now all across here, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So these notes are quarter notes. It takes 4 quarter notes to equal a whole note. I'm going to try to scoot this up so you can see the chart better. All right, so if I'm singing quarter notes, they're just right on the beat. The quarter note is the beat. Ta, 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 ta. That's what we start learning in kindergarten. You started learning quarter notes. Now I'm going to play the 4 quarter notes on the clarinet. They just go right with the beat. Now, if I take the quarter note and I divide that in half, you're going to get how many notes all the way across here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, that's not a very good drawing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one of these is 1/8, or we call them eighth notes. Now, if this equals 1 beat, then this is a half a beat, and this is a half a beat, and together they equal 1 beat. That's why this, when sometimes you see eighth notes and they are put together. Let me see, I know it's hard to, they are put together like this into a double eighth note. That's just a pair of eighth notes. So that would be equal to 1 beat because a half plus a half would equal 1. So now on my chart, as I go down this way, the notes are getting shorter. This was the longest one, and this is the shortest one that we have learned so far, the eighth notes, and it takes 8 of them to equal the whole note. So one of them is called an eighth note. It's literally 1/8. Now, and if you'll notice here, it's equal to half of a beat. Now, just for fun, we're gonna go a little bit further. If I were to, Reed is playing a game and he's being really loud. I don't know if you can hear him or not. If we go, if we subdivide the eighth note, now what you do in music is you still have a colored in circle, you still have a stem, but now I'm gonna have 2 flags. And you hopefully remember this. Hopefully this is all review, nothing new. But if I go all the way over here and I've subdivided every eighth note, how many of these notes am I gonna have to equal the whole note? 16. I'm gonna have 16, so 16th, these are called 16th notes. Now, if you look, there will be 16 of them. Sometimes most of the time you don't see them written like this. Most of the time you see them in a group with 4 of them together. And when you see them like that, they have 2 lines across the top. It's the same here. There's only 1 line across the top on the eighth note. Here there's 2 for the 16th notes. So we group them together because 4 of them together equals 1 beat. Tiki tiki. You got to get 4 sounds inside of the 1 beat. Now, if I were with you in class, I would see who really had their brains turned on and was good at math, because you could actually keep going. So let's just see if you can figure it out. I'll let Miss Lisa ask you. If I go right here and to subdivide the 16th notes, now I have 3 stems. Look at the pattern here. Whole, half, quarter, eighth, 16th note. What would that note be called? It would actually be called a 32nd note, because it would take 32 of them to equal a whole note. Now, what if I divided it again? Do you see the pattern? 1, 2, 3, 4 now. It would be a 64th note. That's the fastest note I've ever had to play on the clarinet. And the tempo was super, super, super slow. So it was like, it really was. But sometimes percussionists, especially on the snare drum, they would have notes that even have 5 of the little flags at the top, and they would be called 128th notes. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to try to stomp a beat for you so you can hear that. And I'm going to play the whole note, 2 half notes, 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, 16 16th notes, and I'll try to do 32nd notes, but it probably won't be very good. And then I'll probably stop. All right, see if you can hear and feel the beat and hear those different rhythms. Yeah, I wasn't very good at the 32nd notes. I haven't played my clarinet in a while. But anyway, I hope that helps you guys and helps you understand the notes and their values. Try to put that in your brains as good as you can. And we will hopefully do some instruments and activities with that next week. Have a great week. I miss you guys. Hopefully I'll see you soon.